So then I clicked on the X button to make it go away, but then it was a link to another ad, and when I tried to cancel that, another window came up and it was this. Dude, what the bro? What does this mean, dude, bro? What the bro?
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and today I'm going to review Amazing Spider-Man 53. Looks a lot like Amazing Spider-Man 545. If you remember that is the last issue of the One More Day story arc from J. Michael Straczynski and Joe Quesada. And I think this is going to be a divisive issue because, in one hand, like all the clues that we've been getting that Nick Spencer is going to be doing something with One More Day, whether or not he's retconning it or resetting it or wiping it out of existence, which is what I think myself and a lot of people would like. Like, he's certainly revisiting it because he relives that story or the tail end of that issue almost frame for frame in this comic book. But the issue itself, like Spider-Man 53, is the reveal to Peter who Kindred is. Now, as a reader, we already know who Kindred is, so it's not a big surprise. And also, while I get what Nick Spencer and Mark Bagley are going for here, and visually it's executed really well, the color artist Edgar Delgado does a really good job of, and Mark Bagley do a very good job on the reshoots, if you will, of the One More Day portion of the story from Spider-Man 545, of making them look very similar and of the time. I don't think there's enough in this comic book. Like, it reads, it's like a 5-minute read. It's one of the fastest comics I've read in a very long time. And it's not because it's super exciting and you just can't put it down. It's because there's a lot of pages with nothing going on, and it's a lot of the rehashing things that you already knew. And then the big reveal is something that the reader already knew. So I don't know that it's exactly effective. So I don't even know how to score this or even recommend it. Like I said, I think it's going to be divisive. I can see both sides. On one hand, I'm excited. It's clear Nick Spencer is handling One More Day, hopefully wiping it out of existence. That's what I think he's doing. But on the other hand, nothing really happens. There is the reveal, but I already knew the reveal, and it doesn't come off as terribly exciting the way that Peter Parker, accepts the reality that this is Harry Osborn. And there are going to be a lot of spoilers. We already knew that, but I'm going to spoil this, and I don't know that it's effective. It's executed well, but it's what I think is happening is exciting, but the way it's executed in this issue is not exciting. Now, before I get to the details of why, I do want to say, if you haven't subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review. Give me a thumbs down if you don't. Either way, I want to hear your thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man 53. Is it too much like Amazing Spider-Man 545? Was Nick Spencer effective in executing this reveal? Was it exciting? Did he build the tension that probably it required? Because I don't think it really happened. But I am excited about the prospects of One More Day being wiped out. Do you think that's what's going on here? Because that's what I think is going on. It's not confirmed yet, but why would he be doing this if it wasn't? So getting into the similarities in the retelling of the story. On the left, you have Amazing Spider-Man 545. This is after the deal with Mephisto. Peter Parker's marriage has been wiped out. His secret identity has been reestablished. And he wakes up, Aunt May is alive. And you can see here, it's very similar. It's not shot for shot. It's not frame for frame, but it's pretty close. Some of the words are gone or changed, but it's not always changed. There's a lot of similarities. And this happens throughout. Like I said, I think Mark Bagley and Edgar Delgado do a very good job of creating the look and atmosphere of Amazing Spider-Man 545. Like it looks like it could be from the same comic book. Not exactly, but very close. Obviously, Joe Quesada would have been, pretty much at his peak at this time. And I think they do a great job with it. And, just in another example, this is when he goes to the party, he sees Flash, But this time, it's a little bit different. We are seeing, the shush everybody because the big reveal that Harry's about to visit. But obviously, Peter realizes Flash has been gone for a while. He's dead, and he's so happy to see him. So he's having some revelations. He sees MJ in the crowd. He wants to talk to her and all that stuff. So it's definitely eerie. But it's not frame for frame, but it is the same party. We've got some of the same dialogue like going on and things of that nature. So it definitely retells the same story. But I will give this to Marvel. This isn't an X-Men situation where you basically had 15 pages of sequential art that were just reused from one issue to the next with some changes in words. It's the same exact story. This is different. So I'll give them this. They didn't reuse the art from Joe Quesada. It just changed the word bubbles, which would have been unforgivable after what happened on X-Men, but it's pretty close. I mean, they certainly recreated the scene. And one of the big problems is it, I don't know, there's like 8 pages of this. Maybe it's even more. It's just Kindred. At first, he's looking over Peter Parker in her bed, and you figure out pretty soon, like, Peter's not in hell. He's not in another dimension. He's not even dead. He's dreaming. At least that's the way I don't. We saw Kindred snap his neck at the end of the last issue, and I was like, oh, okay, we're probably going to see him in hell, or Kindred's going to be taking his spirit to another dimension and torturing him or something. But it turns out he's sleeping, and Kindred's standing over him, and he's walking around him and being creepy. But there's like no words. There's a little bit of like thought bubble, kind of inner narration. That's it, and it's very, very sparse and limited. And there's like 8 pages of it. There's nothing to read. You see a picture and you move on. Now they're well illustrated, but it seemed like a lot of wasted real estate, especially for a story that accomplishes, or a comic book that accomplishes so little in the 24 pages of real estate that it has. It doesn't feel like a good use of the time. In my opinion. And then, so Peter goes along his day. We're seeing the same things happen, but as he's going along, he's starting to recognize that he's lived this day before. Obviously, this is a dream. He's not reliving it. It's a dream. It's like, hey, I remember this. And we do get some subtle hints, like when he sees the doorman and he's going up to the party, his eye has a red glow to it, like he's a demon or something. And when he goes up and he's having a conversation with Harry, and he's starting to realize, as he's like, a man doesn't live in Europe for as long as I have, as long as I did not get to toast with his best pals. The worst thing about hell, fellas? The parties suck. And then that's when Peter's like, no. Harry, no. And then there's a rehash of a quote where he says, remember what you said last time? Speak of the devil. And he appears. And then obviously Peter realizes he's in sleep. Kindred's over him. He's the one giving him this dream and making him revisit the moments after his deal with Mephisto, where basically Harry was dead at that point. And this new Harry that would have been resurrected at that moment has been living like a lie. I guess he's like, I don't know, is he an imposter? I imagine that's what this is all about, is the Kindred became aware that there was an imposter Harry acting like he was still alive, and people forgot about the real Harry who's actually dead. They don't mourn him anymore because they think he's really there, but it's just a fake imposter Harry that's there because Peter made a deal with the devil. He probably blames Peter. And then Peter does wake up and he's very scared. Kindred says, I can tell you're disappointed, Pete. I get that, but let's finally be honest. You always knew it was me. And he's like, no, you just didn't want to admit it. No, it can't be. You need to accept this, old buddy. It's the only way that we can move forward, just the two of us, because we have so much work to do. And like I keep trying to tell you, it's not who I am, it's what I want. And I imagine what he wants is to tell people the truth, that Peter made a deal with the devil. Harry Osborn's not alive. He's been dead. He's been dead and forgotten. There's an imposter Harry out there, and Peter, changed everything. And I don't know. Is he going to expose him? Maybe show some of his friends like what their lives would have been if Peter had reset time. If maybe people wouldn't have had to, live the bad times. Flash Thompson shouldn't be dead. Stuff like that. I wonder if that's how he's going to expose him. And on the very last page, you do get to see his face, and he says "gotcha" to him, just to reinforce that it is Harry Osborn. There were some theories that maybe they were trying to, like when Norman called Kindred's son like it was a red herring, but it's not. It is Harry Osborn. This is obviously the Harry Osborn that was already dead before One More Day. And he's got to be wanting redemption, or not redemption, but so people to know the truth that the real Harry Osborn isn't alive. I imagine he wants him to reset back to that moment and make things the way they're supposed to be. But of course, if he does that, then Kindred isn't real anymore. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this one. But like I said, this whole comic book is a reveal. Peter goes back in a dream state, revisits the moments after One More Day, his deal with the devil. He has his interactions. He realizes deja vu. I've experienced this before. Things are weird. And then he comes to the realization that Kindred is Harry. I don't know. Does that make a good comic book? As far as a comic, I think it is disappointing. But as far as the implications, I think it's really exciting. So I'm actually torn on this one. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Is this a recommend? Do you not recommend this story or this comic book? Is it worth the $4? I don't know. That's a good question. This isn't, like I said, it's not an X-Men 13 situation or X-Men 14. It's not that. They certainly, there's a lot of panel redrawings. At least Mark Bagley redid the art. And like I said, Edgar Delgado did a great job with the tones and the colors of making it feel like it was the same time as the One More Day story and this issue of Amazing Spider-Man 545. I don't know. Are they wiping out One More Day? I'm certain of it. They have to be. Why would you be doing this if you weren't wiping One More Day out of existence? It's got to be what's happening. And Peter Parker's not dead, apparently. He snapped his neck and put him to sleep. I'm a little confused about that one, personally. I imagine, he was going to be in hell or some type of alternate dimension or something. That's not really what happens. So I don't know. Definitely want to hear from you guys. Is this a good comic book? I don't know. I think as a comic book, it's probably not good. You probably shouldn't recommend it. But it's like the implications themselves, I think, are exciting, and I think people should probably read it, especially if you hate One More Day and you want to see the work Nick Spencer's putting in to undo it. I think we are going to get what we're looking for. Well, that'll be my review. This is a short one. Like I said, this is one of the quickest comic books you'll ever read in your life for it being like a full issue. It's 24 pages. It reads like it's about 8. There's so many pages of Kindred just standing over Peter doing nothing. I thought he was going to grab his hog at one point. Is he going in there? What's he doing with that hand? I thought he was going for a feel. Turned out that wasn't it. But yeah, maybe next time. I'm on the fence. I'm never the middle of the road guy. Am I? Am I the middle of the road guy? I'm in the middle of the road on this one. I can see why people be pissed. And I can see why people be excited. Because I'm both. Well, I'm not pissed. But wasn't really worth the money this week. Just as far as storytelling.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.